There was a few at Horsey down along the river or down along the bottom. Same at Griffin. There was 2 campsites occupied at Yellow Jacket. That's it. And 12K was not the parking lot I expected it to be. Yeah. Well, I laughed because I was golfing with him when he got your message.
Oh, yeah.
And because we were talking about where he was going to go to camp.
Good evening, council. We get started this evening by calling the May 25th, 2021 regular meeting of council to order. First item on the agenda under 2.1 is adoption of this evening's agenda. Councillor G, Councillor Blanchette, any errors or sorry, any additions, deletions? All in favor? It's carried. Item 3.1, adoption of the minutes of the May 11th, 2021 regular meeting of council. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Blanchette, any errors or omissions arising? All in favor? It's carried. 3.2, adoption of the minutes of the May 11th, 2021 public hearing be adopted. Councillor McLean, Councillor G, any errors or omissions arising? All in favor? It's carried. No delegations this evening. Anything out of the reading file council would like to bring forward? Councillor Pearson?
Yeah, I'd just like to comment on the Columbia Basin RDI Community Profile Report on Valemount. A ton of information. I mean, it's a lot of numbers and stuff, but it's really some really good information on our community and area.
Yeah, they've been profiling basin communities for a few years now, and that's the most in-depth report I've seen. Anything further? Moving on to administrative reports under 8.1, the accounts payable report for April 2021 be received. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Blanchette, any discussion? All in favor of receipt? Carried. We do have a under 8.2 request for quotes update. Recommendation here that the report be received. Councillor G, Councillor Pearson, any discussion?
It's kind of the sign of the times, I think, but yeah, we'll have to see where this goes.
All in favor of receipt? Carries. 8.3, the Chinook Salmon Tank Program here at the Visitor Info Center. Recommendation here that the report be received. Councillor McLean, Councillor Blanchette, any discussion?
That's a neat program. That's going to be a lot of fun, you know?
That was a great opportunity.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All in favor of receipt? Carried. 8.4, the UBCM Housing Needs Report Program grant application. A couple of recommendations here. Number one, that's council direct staff to apply for $15,000 to the Union of BC Municipalities, UBCM, for the Housing Needs Reports Program. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor McLean, discussion. It's now a requirement that we do an inventory. All in favor? It's carried. And two, the council resolves to support the UBCM Housing Needs Reports Program application and to provide overall grant management. Councillor G, Councillor Pearson, discussion. All in favor? Carries. Bylaws and policies, item 9.1, the Village of Valemount Street Vendor Bylaw number 844, 2021 be adopted as Village of Valemount Street Vendor Bylaw number 713, 2014, Amendment Bylaw number 844, 2021 be adopted as presented. Councillor G, Councillor McLean, discussion. I know Mr. Grant was extremely busy this weekend.
Yeah. Which is good.
All in favor? Carries. 9.2, Village of Valemount Development and Land Use Application Policy number 82, 2021. A recommendation here that that same policy number 82, 2021 be approved by council. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Pearson, discussion. All in favor? It's carried. Are there any notices of motion to come forward? We have time for council reports. If I can find my list of emails. Councillor G.
The only thing I have is the discussion meeting we had with the Valemount Community Forest on the 18th. And that's it.
Awesome. Councillor Blanchette.
The 17th, I had a community collaborative meeting. I also had a tourism governance meeting. And on the 18th, I had another tourism governance meeting with Stormy Lake Consulting. And on the 18th, I had another community collaborative meeting. And on the 18th, I also had the community forest meeting. And on the 20th, I had a housing meeting. Now, that being said, I was wondering if I could ask council to think about perhaps having a committee of the whole to talk about housing with our housing committee members, and possibly having it done by a facilitator who knows about DLCs, financing, private-public partnerships, bylaws, that kind of thing. Development costs? DCC, sorry, apologies, DCCs. I think that because we're in such a crunch, and we're going to be in this crunch for so long, that we need to sort of all of us together understand what kind of crisis we're having with housing. We're having 3 families that are being displaced, local families. So I just think that we need to all be on the same page. We all need to be aware. I know that we're all on different committees, so sometimes we don't all know what's going on, and we don't have a really good grasp of everything. I think housing is extremely important, that we all need to be on understand all of what's going on. I can't relay all of it. And I think having a facilitator that could possibly flush out maybe some ideas or some flexibility so that we could look into that kind of thing. I think we need to have a really good look at it and dissect it as best we can.
Could we just send this back to staff for now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make some headway there.
Yeah. Okay. There is some funding too that we can have to pay for a facilitator. I checked. So, okay. Oh yeah, and that's my report.
That's it?
No.
Thank you. Councillor McLean?
On May 13th, I had an online meeting of the Columbia Basin Trust Local Government Committee meeting. On the 18th, I too attended the meeting between Council and the Community Forest Board and management. And I had a Columbia Basin Regional Advisory Board Zoom meeting this morning where we heard BC Hydro's operational plans for the summer. Last year, Kinbasket Lake was surcharged, and this year it is forecast to be 11 feet below what it was last year.
That's still not to the ramp yet.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
Any other given year, I'd be PO'd that we weren't fishing by the May long weekend, which
Yeah.
was the sole purpose of the extension of that ramp.
Right.
But it wasn't an attraction this time around either. So
Right.
Any other year, yes, but it was nice to see that the water wasn't as high as it could have been.
Right.
Councillor Pearson?
Where are we? May 12th, Community Health Collaborative meeting. The 17th and 18th, 2 sessions of a tourism governance sessions, looking at the options moving forward for tourism remaining as a committee of council or looking to a independent DMO. Thank you. Destination. Actually, they changed that to DMO, yes, Destination Management Organization. So some very good discussions and looking at options. And we have another session tomorrow morning. And also on the 18th, along with the rest of council, meeting with Valemount Community Forest and Village of Valemount Council and staff.
Awesome. May 12th had a VARTA board meeting via Zoom. May 18th had a geothermal briefing with MLA Bond for her meeting with Minister Ralston during estimates. The Minister of Energy and Mines is now on record for recognizing 2 temperature resources, one being less than 80 C, which is not in the purview of the Geothermal Resources Act, but rather under both the Ministry of Environment and FLNRO. So there's some tape there that we're able to get through with less risk and less exploration funds. Still on May 18th, I had a Columbia Basin Trust Investments Committee meeting, briefing with Valemount Emergency Services and a C2B with Valemount Community Forest staff, management, and village staff, and you all. May 20th, had Regional District Environment and Parks Committee, along with the Regional District Board. And then later that day, around 4:15, I was able to go down to the Shell, which is our regular stop for the Thompson Valley Charter public transportation service, heading both south and east. We've been missing that connection for quite some time now. Yesterday, I caught the briefing with Dr. Bonnie Henry. Just happy to see that from yesterday, the last 24 hours had our daily case rate down to under 300 province-wide. And then today caught the reopening announcement with Dr. Henry, Premier Horgan, Minister Dix, and Minister, I'm going to get this wrong, Kellon, with jobs and innovation. So really happy to see some of those things come out. You all caught the release today, so things are happening. We're back to in-person dining, controlled, of course. It's going to be another phased rollout as we reopen, but we're that circuit breaker restriction period seems to be working. So really happy to see that, particularly for our residents and businesses. That's my report. So reports to be received. Councillor Pearson, Councillor G, any questions, comments that we haven't addressed already? All in favor of receipt? Item 14, public comment. 14.1 on items considered by council as part of the approved agenda. Ms. Shepherd, have we received any public comments, written or otherwise?
No comments.
Thank you. So not proceeding in camera, so I'll ask for an adjournment.